trying to make a decision between Durham, North Carolina or Raleigh, North Carolina? Well, ultimately on today's video, you're going to be able to hear my thoughts on the two cities and be able to make a decision for yourself, which is best fit for you, yourself, your family, whoever else is tagging along with you to North Carolina. And then you can identify, which city is a winner in your opinion. What's going on, everybody? It's Roney Polynice here. If this is your first time on this channel, welcome. If not, welcome back. And while I have your attention, make sure to hit the like, subscribe, and the bell so you are notified every time I do a video with you, sharing with you exactly what it's like to live, eat, sleep, play, all in Raleigh, North Carolina. And just as much as I enjoy making those videos for you, I am a licensed realtor here. So if you have any real estate needs or you have any real estate questions, or better yet, questions about the area in general, my number is going to pop up right there. Make sure to give me a call, shoot me a text, email, day or night. Heck, maybe even on the weekends. I got your back in this market. Now, let's get after and figure out between the two duo, which is a better city. So the first one that I'll talk about today is how does it feel and what's the culture like. And because this channel is all Raleigh based, we're going to talk about Durham first, just because I know you guys know plenty about Raleigh, especially if you watched already some of my previous videos. But what Durham really offers is it's semi-fun because there are some things you can do there. It's not like a ghost town or anything of that nature. It's just not as much as Raleigh has to offer. It's definitely, I would say, an artsy place. So is Raleigh, but just I think Durham, it gives me more of that artsy feel to it. I don't know why. I just get that from it. I will also say it's an older feel.
Man, that's what you talking about, Willis.
So you'll see, if you're into architect as well as at all, then you'll get to see a lot of the buildings because there are a lot of older buildings there. And the structure, the overall layout, it's pretty old. I mean, in addition to it, Raleigh, North Carolina is the state capital. Let's not forget that. So they have to have more things to do in a sense. But that's just kind of what I get from the two. If I were to choose between those two, I'm definitely going to go with the one that's a little bit more active, one that has a little bit more to do, which would be Raleigh in this scenario. The size and the population. So Raleigh is, I mean, we can really look at the two together and you might say Durham is a little bit bigger because Raleigh does have sub-cities all around it, but Durham really doesn't have that. So I would definitely say, in terms of on the map, looking at it, Durham probably does look bigger, but you will be extremely shocked because Raleigh actually is like double the size in terms of population of what Durham offers. Durham, I believe they're at just a little under 300,000 in terms of population, and Raleigh, I believe, is sitting at about 450. So you're like, woo, big difference. So of course, with a lot of people, what is that going to bring? A lot of traffic. So Raleigh, yes, it does hold the traffic because of course it is bigger. A lot of more people navigating in and out the city, going to those sub-cities like Cary, Morrisville, Apex, Fuquay, Varina. You'll hear a lot of people just say Fuquay. You even have Wake Forest. So Raleigh has a lot of that surrounding it. So of course it's going to be a little bit more congested just because there are a lot more things going on outside of just Raleigh in itself. In addition to that, Raleigh having a lot of people, if you are a local business owner, you're definitely going to want to consider Raleigh, in my opinion, simply because there is a lot more people. It is a lot more foot traffic that goes on in Raleigh. So you have that ability to attract, not only people searching up your name, searching up your business name, but you also have the ability of people walking past your business and seeing it and maybe walking inside of it. Now, as far as housing, both cities, surprisingly, when I looked this up, I was actually shocked myself. Both cities are pretty much the same within median price at about 415. When I saw this, I was very, very shocked because I would expect Raleigh to just have that edge a little bit. but it didn't. It really didn't. I think what really weighs people away from Durham a little bit more, and you know, if you pay attention to money, you follow your money, you're really attentive to what your money, what goes in and what goes out your bank account, this one is going to really stick out to you, because the taxes actually in Durham is a little bit more than Raleigh. Now, I'll pull up the number. I don't remember the numbers off the top of my head in terms of what the taxes are, but that was something I found extremely interesting, because for the state capital to have less taxes, and then on top of that be essentially be head-to-head with another city, which is literally like 30 minutes away, I was very intrigued. I was like, well, I guess it's all one big market, as everyone considers, you know, RTP, the Raleigh-Durham area. So it makes sense, but in my opinion, it makes sense, but it doesn't, because both cities offers two different things. So even though Durham and Raleigh pretty much had the same median price, I'm gonna off-rip go with Raleigh simply because, hey, I could keep a little bit more bucks in my pocket because taxes are a little bit less there. Now let's talk about the school system here. Now, first and foremost, I apologize, but I don't have any kids, so I have never personally been through the public system here, and I moved here about 4 years ago, so I don't really have much experience. I'm just going to share with you what Wake County and Durham actually sits in terms of where are they ranked in North Carolina. And as you can see here, Wake County is ranked at 8 out of North Carolina, and Durham County is 69, I believe it is. It says, yep, there you go. So take that with a grain of salt, of course, because I've not gone through it, not once, so I can't share with you a personal experience of trying to navigate through it and how it is to register or unregister a kid out of one school, transfer another. I don't know. So you're gonna have to experience that, and then once you do, if you can, please report back to me and let me know how that experience is for you, so that we could try to do everything possible to make it better for the next person. But if you're anybody like myself who cares a lot about education, I mean, you already know who's the winner for this one. I don't even have to say it. You know, a lot of time I get this question, what's the crime like? And I'm not going to talk about it on this one. I'm not going to say which one is better. I'm not going to say which one is worse, because I actually made a video in which I'll tag above, in which you can actually look that up yourself. I talk about, you know, how to really use those resources of how to navigate between, you know, which city has more crime going on than others. And, you know, you can even go down to the point where you can look at it, what's going on day by day in each one of those states, better yet, cities, down to the street. So I made that video for you simply because I know I get that question a lot. And I want you guys to be able to really look at it yourself, because you know what I could take as crime may not be the same as what you take as crime. So it's really look at it for your own personal sake, and then you can identify, hey, which one's a better fit. Is it Raleigh or is it Durham? Which one has more going on? Which one is actually more dangerous? Which one is better? I don't know. But that's why I did it. So go ahead and check that out. Let me know your thoughts on it. If you have any feedback on that, please, I'm all ears for it. I'm realizing as I'm going through the video more and more that, man, I'm just bashing Durham left and right, and that's not the case. It's just Durham doesn't have what Raleigh has, and you know, you can't fault Durham. I believe Durham is just a little bit behind. Again, they remind me of more of that older feel, so of course I'm not going to be attracted to that. And to begin with, I like more modern, up-to-date technology, you know, kind of thing. So Raleigh is where, you know, I'm geared more towards, and I'll understand a little bit better simply for that reason. But for those that are really curious and trying to figure out which state, or better yet, which city, is it Raleigh or is it Durham, is a better fit for you, here, this is why I'm doing this here today. And if you have any additional questions about something I may have not covered, make sure to give me a call, shoot me a text, email, day or night, heck, maybe even on the weekends. You gotta remember, I got your back in this market, but the only way I can help is if you go ahead and pick up that phone, or even write that email and send it off. So now we're gonna talk about the parks, nature, I guess, you know, trails, the Greenway systems. And one thing I'll definitely talk about is Durham doesn't really have much. I believe they have like 2 major ones, and it's Tobacco Trail, which I talked about before, and then we have, of course, the Duke Forest. So you can really go check those out. But outside of that, you don't have really much lakes going on. All of that is closer to Raleigh. I mean, I hate to even say it, but it's just like I sound like a broken record at this point. Just keep repeating myself talking about what Raleigh has to offer, but it does. I mean, you have Falls Lake, Lake Jordan, Lake Wheeler, Umstead Park. You actually have Tobacco Trail, which starts and, well, it ends, or depending on where you're coming from, right? So it starts in Raleigh and it ends in Durham. So I'll give that one to Durham, simply because it's actually called Tobacco Trail, which Durham is actually known as like tobacco, not tobacco specifically, but they actually have a lot of things named after tobacco. And I honestly don't know why that is the case. That is something I might try to figure out now. Now that I've realized it's actually named after tobacco. You have Tobacco Road, you have Tobacco Trail. Speaking about Tobacco Road, we're actually going to talk about the entertainment now, and that's Tobacco Road. What I just showed you is one of the places that I typically go to whenever I'm in Durham, because it's just park my car and I could just go bounce place to place to place and just enjoy myself there. However, that's not the only thing there that you can also do. You can actually watch the Durham Bulls play, which is a minor league baseball team. So sorry, no major league, not there. But you could check out a major league if you're interested in hockey. The Carolina Hurricanes, they play in Raleigh at the PNC Arena, in which you can go ahead and check that out. But let's go back to Durham really quick. Durham has the DPAC Center, which is essentially where a lot of different acts go to share, to go show, to perform for others. And that's a place that a lot of people in Durham go to go check that out. Not only people in Durham, but primarily if you're closer there, and of course you're not going to want to drive, then that's a place that you'll go to. But let's go revert right back to Raleigh. PNC, I talked about. Raleigh, in terms of entertainment, it is off the chain.
That's more like it. Let's go.
And I say that because there's a lot of outdoor venues in which a lot of outdoor concerts happen. And I mean, there's a lot of them. You have a ton of amphitheaters. You have the Walnut Creek Outdoor Theater. I mean, not theater. You also have Coastal Credit Union. So you have a ton of things in terms of what you can do outdoors, not even indoors. So you can go ahead and take advantage of that. Ultimately, Raleigh just has way more attractions, whereas Durham relies more on events to bring people there. So when it comes to employment, Raleigh and Durham don't really differ too much from that. If anything, the pay is probably just going to be the biggest difference, but they both offer jobs within the industries of education, technology, government, healthcare. That's really what North Carolina does really well. So they're not that big of a difference. And given that, sorry, there's bugs flying all over the place, but given that they're both relatively close to RTP, I mean, RTP is directly in the middle of both of them, so you have access to that. There's really not much of a big difference when it comes to employment in terms of both cities in itself. I know I talked about sports a little bit before, but I only talked about the Durham Bulls and I only talked about the Carolina Hurricanes. I forgot to mention all of the colleges that are nearby and what they offer as well. So you have those college sports as well that you can go ahead and take advantage of. Now you can't forget, of course, we have NC State, UNC, Duke. All those schools obviously have great programs, especially basketball when it comes to it. So that's something that you could definitely check out as well. Now, in terms of which one is going to win, whether it's Durham or Raleigh on that one, when it comes to sports, I think it's a tie, man. I mean, because they both have, I guess, semi-professional teams. I don't really watch hockey, so it doesn't really bother me. But in terms of basketball, they both have really great basketball programs in which a lot of people do go out and support them. So I'm gonna say that's gonna be a good old tie on that one. But if you're a really hardcore Duke fan, then you might want to go to Durham. In conclusion, Raleigh just has a little bit more to offer than Durham. But if Durham fits for you, that is fine, because they're relatively close to each other. I mean, I think that's what makes North Carolina so great, is the fact that, yes, Raleigh is a big hub, a big city hub, but you also have these smaller cities or even bigger cities like Durham right there. I mean, it's a really easy commute, to be honest with you. You can get on the interstate and it's a straight shot. You're gonna get there within 20-35 minutes and then you're good to go. But use this video as a way to help you educate yourself and understand which area is a better fit for you and your lifestyle. As I have explained some of the major differences. Always remember, I am a licensed realtor in North Carolina, and just as much as I enjoy making these videos, I would love nothing more but to help you with any of your real estate needs, or even if you have questions about real estate, or better yet, you have a question about Raleigh, or now we could talk about Durham, right? So go ahead, my number's gonna pop up right there. Make sure to shoot me a call, text, email, day or night, heck, maybe even on the weekends. Always remember, I got your back in this market. Thank you so much for watching. Peace out. Till next time.